Live. Welcome to the Always Betting Podcast. I am your co-host, Pisky, and I will be joined by you-know-who. He's dealing with some lighting issues, and I told him, no, it's go time, bro, and here he comes. He has no idea that we've started recording, folks, so this is going to be great, as always. The reactions are what everyone shows up for, I know. And today we're going to be talking about Bet Bash. We just spent 5 fun-filled days in Las Vegas, and this episode is going to be recapping everything that we experienced. Bet Bash 2024. There he is! There he is.
You started?
Dude, you're pixelated. No, we're good. We're good. There, you look better now.
For fucking nothing? You...
We're good. I told you, we're on a tight schedule. Britt's going to have my head. We have a dinner at 5:30. I got to be out of here. People at WeWork are already knocking on the door here. You're good. I just let everyone know that we're going to be talking about Bet Bash.
We're going to be talking about a lot fucking more. You're sending me all over my house to try to find a fucking laugh, and I don't think I needed it.
You're much more crisper now. It was actually pixelated before. I see that you got your voice back.
Barely. Look at this.
You look good.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. We're not wasting people's time. We're going to try to make this as short as possible. We want to talk about Bet Bash, the Godfather's first Bet Bash. Talk a little bit. I want to see if your voice is back.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Not too bad.
I think you got to turn up your mic a little bit. Look at this. We're out of sync. We haven't done this in a while. Unbelievable.
Listen. All my fucking settings are fine. I'm not leaving because I'm pretty sure you pulled a fast one on me yet again. Anyway, start your stupid podcast. Let's go.
We already started. We're 3 minutes into this thing. I already pushed play. So, we're back in Toronto. Okay, we start with Sunday. Sunday was the trip around Europe. I left Greece. Lufthansa couldn't make my layover in Germany, so I had to go Greece to Germany, Germany to England, England to Toronto, and then I met up with the Godfather, plus EV, and a bunch of other Toronto guys at the airport at Pearson, and we flew into Sin City. Barely any sleep, plus EV, being the sharp guy that he is, made the right move, got a cab right out of the airport. Us dummies went to the Uber area, got bamboozled like that. We're on the wrong level. Shout out to Zach from Circles Off. He was there with us trying to figure it all out in Vegas. And by the time we finally got to the Golden Nugget, that's where the Godfather and I stayed, it was past midnight. I was pissed off because the next morning I had to be at Circa at 6 a.m. for the golf. And, the Godfather, all loosey-goosey. He's walking down Fremont Street. Hey, Piz, we're going to go check this out. Hey, Piz, what are we doing? I'm like, dude, I haven't slept in 3 days. I'm going to go gallivanting now with a 6 a.m. tea time?
Not my problem. Not my problem. You said, we'll have one drink. Nothing stupid, okay, B? That's what you said. Instead, you got your fancy-ass fucking suitcase, and you went straight past the room, straight to your room. See you tomorrow, B. And you close the door on me. What kind of bullshit is that?
Because I told you, 6 a.m. Do you know how difficult it was waking up at 5:30 to go meet everyone else at the bus area of Circa?
You know what? Hey, listen.
Go play golf. So listen to this. When I sat down on the bus to go from Circa to Billy Walters Golf Course, I sat next to a friend of ours who's been all over us on Twitter. Very big supportive guy of the podcast and everything that we're doing. The Taxman. Shout out to the Taxman.
Thanks, man.
One of the
I finally
good
got
good
a
people
chance to
from
meet
one of the good people from Boston that we got to meet.
Boston.
Yeah. And so that's how Bet Bash started, folks. So I had to play golf. 6 a.m. I was paired up with two beauties. Chris from Pittsburgh. What do you think of our friend from Pittsburgh, Godfather?
Solid.
Good individual,
First of
right?
all,
Yeah, a friend of
excellent.
ours.
Excellent.
And I made a new friend, Matt from Edmonton, just north of Edmonton. Great guy, very sharp,
Yeah.
very sharp. And yeah, we made a great team. I'm a terrible golfer. That was the second time I played in 3 years. Shout out to again Plus EV for taking me out for the first time in 3 years here in
So
Toronto.
how does a non-golfer sign up for the fucking golfing event?
Networking. Dude, there was better networking on the golf course than any other place of Bet Bash throughout the week. So, honestly, I hope Spanky puts it on again because I was a big fan. You know, you're playing with these guys. You're strategizing. We used a handful of my shots. I felt like I contributed. But those two guys are really good golfers. So, shout out to Chris and Matt. I had a blast. The only thing that was extraordinarily difficult was obviously the fact that I had barely slept. But dude, 42 degrees.
Yes. I think it was
42
hotter
degrees
than that.
was when we walked off the golf course at just before noon. Is that crazy or what?
It is very crazy.
So why don't you let everyone know, because Mr. Let's go out. We got to go to Fremont Street. Oh, let's go have a drink. Hey, Vegas. Wait, would you sleep until 11 a.m.?
But I have the common sense not to sign up for something stupid like that.
Next year I want you to be my caddy. What do you think?
Yeah, well,
you got the hat for it.
Yeah, no problem.
No, seriously, what did you do that morning?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I slept like a fucking human. I got up. I went and grabbed myself a couple of double espressos. I had myself a little croissant or something. And
Croissant?
then-
The French?
Dude, that's
What do you guys usually eat for breakfast? What do you guys seriously? What's like an Italian delicacy for breakfast?
They don't do much for breakfast. They have like
Really?
maybe, they have what's that bread called? Brioche?
Panettone.
Yeah. Panettone. Don't fuck with the panettone. So
I still don't like it, by the way.
Well, what the fuck do you know? Anyway. So yeah, I ran into Goofy Noofy.
The Goofy
I
Noofy,
wasn't
yeah.
at circa 5 minutes. I was actually up against the rail by the elevator, resetting up my Wi-Fi from years past that we have been multiple times to Circa. And this guy says, Godfather? And I look, don't recognize him.
You had no idea who it was?
No. He goes, Tony. And then I look again.
Who the fuck is Tony? Yeah.
Who the fuck is Tony? You can't, a guy like me, you can't say you're Tony because that could be fucking 20 people. Right?
Yeah.
And then he says, Goofy Goofy. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? So 5 minutes it took me at Circa before somebody said,
Recognized you.
Godfather? And then it was 5 frickin' days. Godfather? 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 Yay, Godfather! So that's my bet batch.
Stay in front of the mic. You keep cutting out.
No, I think I'm just yelling too much.
Well, that too. You know what I mean? Like,
I
just settle down. Well, why? You're fucking always pissed off, always screaming and yelling.
You sent
but
me
what
on
a way!
goose chase for the fucking lamp to rile me up. That's what you like.
What a start to Bet Bash for Goofy Noofy. To get to have an espresso with the Godfather, like, I don't know if there's a better way to start Bet Bash, to be honest. It's not the golf. The golf was great, but, man, I honestly, I was playing catch-up the entire time because I was behind on sleep now. We had a busy day on day one. Let's tell the people where we went. Let's tell the people where we went after. Day one was great. We went, next order of business, I had to get a nice cut, right? We wanted to look good in our tuxedos. So we drove out into my barber out there. So the story is, when I was living in Vegas, I met this barber dude. His name is Nolito. Awesome guy. Awesome guy. He's given me so many cool spots to check out in Vegas. His favorite place to have an old fashioned. He said there's no better place than the Legacy Club, and that's when we hit it off. As soon as he said that to
As
me,
soon as you said
I
that.
was like, oh, but dude, yeah. And this guy's an artist. You saw it. Godfather, you came with us. The name of the
Yes.
place, if you need a haircut in Vegas, the place to go to, the guy's name is Nolito. You can find him on my Instagram page. I follow him. And the name of the barber is Bluebird Barber Shop. And what
Fantastic.
did you think of Nolito? Did you see the way he was cutting my hair?
Uh, First of all, the barber shop itself was super impressive. It was old school, but it was all modern, but it was old school. Okay. And then when one of the barbers has a perfectly square ZZ top beard down to here, like everybody knew what they were doing in this place. But your barber in particular, I was keeping my eyes on him. This guy here had a different comb and setting for each side of your fucking bowling ball head. I could not believe it. Like the attention that he was taking on your haircut. Like no hair was out of place, and I can see why. A vain
The way he
person like
cuts it, it's
yourself,
like,
yeah.
he's doing
But
all this crazy ass shit. Yeah.
it was very impressive. And
He's
I
a, he's
even
a,
noticed a couple of times he did a little fucking merengue move or something. Was he listening to music or
yeah,
something?
he keeps
I
an
could not.
earbud. He keeps an earbud in one of his thing, and it's his music.
Yeah.
So then it's good because like there's only so many conversations you can keep up. He's a fellow Jeep enthusiast. His
Oh,
Jeep, you saw it
okay.
in the
There you
parking lot,
go. You
Godfather.
guys
So
were
we always talk
brothers.
about the Jeeps. Yeah, always talk about the Jeeps. But yeah, he keeps an earbud in. So yeah, he plays his music, and I shut the fuck up. And yeah, I get like honestly. It is by far the best haircut I've ever got in my life. So every time I go to the desert, I book an appointment with Nolito, and I surprised them this time because you can book appointments through his link in bio on Instagram.
Mhm.
So I just showed up unannounced, and he said, "I recognize the
Uh,
name, kind of." And then when he saw me, you saw the
Yeah,
reaction,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He jumped. He gave you the bro hug. But I
Yeah.
will also say this to our listeners: the desert, Nevada, is an open carry state. So what that means is you can carry a gun as long as it's not concealed. And while I was waiting for you to get your perfect little fade over there, that one guy got up, and I don't know. Boom! I see a Beretta 9 millimeter on his
Stop.
hip. Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And he
Oh,
commanded the room, and I'm saying to myself, okay,
well, you're not going to argue with him.
who me? No, 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 no arguing. I just made no sudden movements, no nothing. But yeah, so keep that in mind.
Nice.
But yeah,
Okay.
super great place. They gave me a bevy. They wanted to give me beer. I said that's not necessary. You know,
Well,
Mikasa Sukasa, all that shit, and it was great.
that's that's Vegas, baby. That's yeah, the only place I've been on the planet you get a beer while you're getting a haircut. That happens in Vegas.
And
So after
I'll also tell our listeners, Mr. Positivo, he's real good on the tips. I'm gonna tell you that.
well, when you see your people once a year, you know what I mean. You got to press in that direction, and yeah,
Kudos to you.
Nolito's an artist. This guy's amazing, and again, follow him on Instagram. I think it's at Nolito the Barber. You can see his work in progress every stage of the way. He posts a lot, so yeah, that was awesome. Okay, we went from the haircut place to go get fitted for our tuxes because the Godfather saw me in an incredible white tux the year before, and he said, "Pisk, the only way I'm coming to Bet Bash is if we do the tux thing again. I want to be part of it. We do it properly." So we went and saw our friends at I think it's Rent a Dress. It's called Rent a Dress.
Rent a dress and tuxedo. Don't leave out the
and
don't leave
tuxedo.
out the other part because people might get the wrong idea.
So this place is a 5-minute Uber from Circa. It is the best move you can make. If you're going to if you're thinking of going to Bet Bash next year and you're going to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony, you got to do it this way because you show up. It's $180 plus tax. It comes out to $200 even. They measure you. They fit everything. They get you to pick out your jacket of choice, your tie of choice, and you pick it up a day or two later, and you look like $1 million in the Hall of Fame ceremony. What did you think of that experience, Godfather? I'm going to bring up a picture because I snapped one because the Godfather was just in his glory. There it is. Look at him. Getting fitted. I think that's Sarah. Shout out to Sarah and Cynthia from the Rent, Address, and Tux place. What did you think of the experience, Godfather, quickly?
Oh, it's fantastic. I would.
Did they do a good job? You've been to these kind of things before, right?
They did a good job. The tuxedos were outstanding quality, and they took care of us, and I was really happy. That was by far the best $200 I spent at Bet Bash.
Right?
Anytime. How's that poll going? The best dressed poll. How's it going?
I've won.
Yeah.
I won.
You won. The last time I checked, it was 80-20. God, Bob.
I don't understand that, by the way. I'm the one grinding away on social media every goddamn day of my life, and I put this poll. I knew I looked sharp, and what? 85% of my followers. 85% of my followers think you look better. No, that's bullshit, man.
No. First of all, it's not bullshit. Second of all, I tried to warn you. You were all piss and vinegar, you with your white tux, you got big shoes to fill, but buddy, I was born for a tux, man. I told you were gonna get smoked. I tried to save you. Your own family voted for me, I'm sure, because
probably everyone just I don't know. They love to hate me.
It doesn't need to be a competition all the time, Positivo. But
you look good.
Yes.
You look good. We'll get back. I got a picture of us.
Look good.
I got a picture of us. We'll get back to that when we get to the Hall of Fame ceremony.
So far, Bet Bash 4 is off to a smashing
solid start. But again, I'm running on fumes at this point. I had to go back to the room. I had to shut my eyes a little bit. I'm struggling. Time zone differences. 5 a.m. golf, 6 a.m. golf, whatever it was.
But to be fair,
driving all around Las Vegas, and it's boiling at this point. I think we're at 45 degrees Celsius at this point. Crazy. And then we have the opening party. We go into the Overhang Bar, I believe it's called.
Overhang Bar. Yeah.
Overhang Bar. Open bar from 7 to 10. All right, we get to see all our friends. We get to meet up with everyone that we haven't seen in a year. Fantastic. Drinks are flowing. Everyone's want to take pictures with the Godfather. No one even knows I exist. It's okay. Whatever. Big deal. And then always, every night of Bet Bash, the after party is up at the Legacy Club. 60th floor, overlooking the city of Las Vegas, the cocktails,
Beautiful.
the minimum triples, strong as hell. And then you get up there, and again, the vibes are so good, you lose control. You drink maybe a bit too much. We were a little banged up. I remember going back into the Golden Nugget, and I didn't have the camera rolling. The one time I didn't have it rolling because the Godfather looked like he was playing a game of Jatoni or something like that. I'm telling you, you were bouncing off the walls. You were banged up. I was banged
up a little, but I wasn't playing Jatoni. Come on,
dude. That's the one night too that I didn't like. Every night I took a video of us walking back to our room. I didn't do it on night one, and that was probably our worst night.
Well,
again, too much excitement in the air, and then the next morning, speed networking, the most difficult but rewarding event of Bet Bash. Right. You have to talk to, I think, 12 different people, 7 minutes a pop. It goes on for an hour and a half, one after the other. One after the other. And, okay, so we'll get to that. I woke up that morning, no voice. Nothing. I couldn't even call the Godfather to try to discuss what we're going to do. I sent him a text message saying, dude, are we gonna do this speed networking thing? And he's like, big cap locks, F that, talk to you at lunchtime. So I had to make the decision of, like, I can't possibly go to this thing we have to talk for the rest of the week. If I go to this thing, my voice is toast for the rest of the event.
Yeah.
So I tried to cancel, but apparently, it was too late. I was already on the schedule, and I got in trouble from someone. The first person I had to meet with, I let down. I got in trouble. And maybe this person can help us out by explaining what exactly happened. Uh-oh. Wait a second. I got technical difficulties here. God damn it.
What? First of all,
I don't know what happened.
This is like the 10th time.
There she is. There she is. We got her.
Going out.
Hi, Tabitha.
Hey, how are you guys? Long time no see.
Yeah.
Tabitha, your voice sounds a little scratchy here. What's going on?
It might be a little bit. I might be.
Oh, man.
So, yes, this is the reason why we were rushing Godfather. We have an unannounced guest coming on. I thought it would be appropriate to bring Tabitha on and give her a proper apology because, guys, my first meeting at the Speed Networking that I was incapable of participating in was right here.
Look, terrible.
At
What a
Pisky
terrible
Positivo stood me up on the first round. I mean, how do you recover from something like that?
You don't.
You don't. Exactly.
Well, when you have a 3-hour open bar to start off with at the overhang bar, and then we go up to the Legacy with Spanky of all people, and he opens the bar with a wolf call to his buddy Dom behind the bar. Ow! I mean, yeah, you're not going to make no speed networking the next morning. But Tabitha toughed it out. But you, sir,
I screwed up. I apologize. I apologize there. And yeah, Tabitha, you're gonna have to let us know how speed networking went. Did you make some good connections there? How are you feeling? Because I know you were up with us at the Legacy Club, pounding till 3 a.m. How did it go?
She was not pounding. She was drinking like a lady.
Sorry.
Lost my watch list. But speed networking was awesome. This year, the connections were way better. Last year, I met with all of our competitors, which was a great time. But this year, there was definitely better connections that hopefully will, put forward stacks a little bit. Me personally, it was really good, minus my first one.
Well,
did anyone else cancel on you?
Yeah, my second one also canceled.
Come on.
Almost the most excited about was my second one. Meeting with Paris Smith, huge. But
oh my God, that's too bad.
Paris Smith. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember you, Tabitha. You said, "When I grow up, I want to be Paris Smith." I like that tweet.
I mean, who wouldn't want to be?
Yes, absolutely.
I met with Stacks, like on the back end operator side. She's definitely someone that any woman in the industry should look up to.
So Paris Smith, for those unaware, is the former CEO of Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book on the planet. Pinnacle. Yeah. She's been in the industry a long time. I didn't get a chance to connect with her. Did you end up talking to her at all, Tabitha?
Super briefly.
Super briefly? Yeah, so, if there's anyone to look up to and try to emulate in this industry, it's got to be Paris Smith. Just pioneer. And to be honest, I can't really... We'll get to that in a second because we'll talk about the panels a little bit later in this episode, but I really can't believe she wasn't a panelist at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes us... that wraps up speed networking, basically. We'll get to the seminars in a second, but I want to jump ahead here to what transpired at the Overhang Bar. That was night 2 of drinking, all right? So this is how it would go. Wednesday we went through the seminars. Again, we'll get back to the seminars in a second. But we went to the Overhang Bar for a night of drinking, open bar from 7 to 10. Talk to me about what happened there, Tabitha, because there was a certain interaction that kind of blew up the internet, and I really want to highlight it. So, what exactly happened there?
Yeah, I'm guessing everyone wants to know about George. So, to highlight George a little bit, I was standing right where everyone has to walk in. I guess he had saw me, yelled my name. Um, we just said a quick hello. He asked for a picture, and I was like, well, you know, I think he is a great person. He may have said some obscene things on the internet, but, you know, so do a lot of people. He at least says it out loud. Most of them are in the DMs that are like very strange. No, it'd be funny if I stood here, he stood there. So he was like, "Oh, let's get a picture." I was like, "Yep, you stand here," and I stepped over. Um, to save George a little bit, I don't think he's weird. Maybe some strange remarks, but I think he means well.
Awesome. And okay, I do have the picture here, but
the
guys,
the best caption
yeah,
of
yeah,
Beth
yeah.
Bash 4 is coming up.
But I think it's only fair. So we got Tabitha's side of that story. I think it's only
Oh
fair that
no.
maybe we get the other side of the story here. And here he is.
Hello, guys. Can
GRP
you hear
wins
me?
in the house. Yeah, we can hear you, my man.
Thanks for
Thanks for
inviting
doing
me,
this,
Pisky.
George. Yeah,
No,
no
it's good
problem,
to
man.
see. It's good to see you again.
You
Well, what do you think about all those nice things that were just said about you? That was not staged. Tabitha had no idea that you were coming on here.
Right.
So,
You're
what do you think
you're
of that?
you're a
You know
terrible
what? Her
person, Chris.
account is very accurate. It was Wednesday night. I got there Wednesday morning and I saw her and I wanted to take a picture and she was scared to get within 2 feet of me, but we took a picture and you know what? Her assessment is me is very accurate. I'm very harmless and I am what I am, and Tabitha's lovely. And then an hour later, I met Taylor at the bar, and she was also borderline afraid of me, but she's also a very cute girl. And yes, that was Wednesday night. That's exactly right.
Awesome, awesome. Well, here's the picture that kind of blew up the internet. I'll put it on here for us to take a peek at.
There
And
we go.
if you can't see it clear as day, the the caption on it is honestly belongs in the Twitter Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Room for Jesus. There was a good amount of room there, and you guys are both standing there, big smiles on your face, and everyone is kind of looking on, saying like, "What the hell is going on here?" These are two internet sensations colliding worlds, and oh man, fantastic.
No, it was a fun time, and right, Wednesday night was the open bar, and then right, Thursday night was the Legacy Club, which was just phenomenal. And and then I left Friday midday, mid morning. I went to In-N-Out Burger, and but big picture, for everyone that's new to sports gambling, or if you have something to promote, like Tabitha does, bet. You know what? You go to Vegas for 48 hours. The whole thing it's a lot of fun.
It really is, man. And Tabitha, do you want to say a couple of quick words here? Speechless?
Hey, George.
Yeah.
I told George that we would only take up 10 minutes of his time here, so I just want to ask him a couple quick questions and we'll send him on his way. George, what did you think? Because I lost my voice in the morning, I couldn't be at Speed Network. I want to know what your opinion was because I think you did it, right? I remember seeing the t shirt. I bet teams, not numbers. And I bet a lot of people gave you a hard time for that.
You know what? Yeah, I took a flight first thing in the morning out of O'Hare. I got there, and I literally when I walked in, there it was like 5 to 11 when it started, um, or 5 to 10, whatever time the network started. I walked in right away. It was my first time ever I did it. It was very interesting. As we all know, it was a little loud in the room. We all admit to that. But I mean, it was. I mean, it was very interesting. You definitely meet different people. I think. What do you guys think about this? Instead of the way they did it one on one, you're at a table of four and you're there for 15 minutes. everyone gives their name, where they're from, and they give a little 30-second spiel if they want. Like Tabitha would say, I'm from this company. Someone could be I'm a gambler. And then there's more of a little bit of a four-way combination amongst for 15 minutes rather than just two people heads up for 5. What do you guys think about that?
I mean,
Tabitha, floor is
seems
yours.
plausible.
I think we'll let Spanky decide.
Right. Because, it was cool. There was a lot of moving around, though. There was a lot of, it was cool. There's a lot of commotion, though. I just think people would like to sit for 15 minutes. That's all.
Well, George, you're the feedback guy. I'm sure you filled out the survey. Throw that in there. That's a
Very-
half decent.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. I would rather, in a month when everything cools down, when Spanky's ready, when like I said, everything's got to settle, and I'll give Spanky my 1 or 2 ideas, things like that, and but I mean, big picture, the whole thing, and again, that legacy bar was just, could it be any more perfect? It was just so perfect.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal place.
Yeah, the Legacy Club is special, and I do remember seeing one of your tweets, George, about the food spread. And you told everyone at Bet Bash, you guys have me to thank for this because I was the guy that got in trouble with the hot dogs a few years ago. How much has Bet Bash changed since you last attended?
Correct. I was literally at Bet Bash 1, which was in New Jersey 3 years ago. And then 2 years ago was my famous, I can't believe I did it. I guess I literally flew out there to sneak into Bet Bash. That was Bet Bash 2. Correct. And I took my famous chili dog picture before security escorted me out the elevator. We understand. And and right, everyone's got me to thank for the better food now. Correct.
Yeah. No, you know what? I agree with you. That's that's
Right.
funny, and I really wish there was some footage of you being escorted out after taking your chili dog photo. That was pretty funny. Tabitha has a hilarious chili dog story as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tabitha, but you were a vegetarian prior to Bet Bash 2, and you were so hungry, and all there was chili dogs, so you broke a couple years of sobriety against meat, I guess, right?
Kind of happened at the same time with George's commotion and me eating my first hot dog. So made a Bet Bash.
Yeah. What? Yeah, exactly. What?
That's funny.
What
if you're
a
a vegetarian,
moment.
to have a chili dog is because you're having a hot dog and chili. Those are like two things with random meat. You really don't know what's in there. I mean, you really got to grin and bear it to do that, Tabitha. You're tough.
Yeah.
Well, the
That's
first 6 a.m. that day, we had not went to bed yet, and that was the Coney Island place was the only place open. So we got one there, and then he also served them for lunch.
Yeah. So my point was right. Even though I would eat a chili dog, it was unfair to people that maybe were a little picky with what they eat. That was my point. They should have had a little variety, and my point was made. And you know what?
Yeah.
Me and Spanky, we really enjoyed each other's company, and they took it like men. And Derek is just a great man, a great owner, and when you deal with good people, that's what happens.
100%, man. And Bet Bash is just filled with great people. And speaking of all those great people, George, how many pictures did you take while you were there?
You know what? I didn't take as many as people. I mean,
Yeah.
even the one with Tabitha, I think someone else took that. I honestly did not take. What happened was random people would come up to me and say, "I'm so and so," and I didn't know who they were 80% of the time. And they would always say, "Hey, do you mind if I take?" And I said, "No, of course, take a picture with me." So to be honest with you, I didn't take as many pictures as you think. It was other people taking pictures, of them with me. Is really what it was.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I meant like picture
Yeah.
opportunities, right?
Oh,
There
I'm
was
sorry.
quite
Oh,
a
yeah,
few.
there was
Yeah.
there was several dozen of those. Correct.
Yeah. Dude, I couldn't believe how tall you were. You told me you're 6 feet tall. I had no idea. I thought much shorter than that. So that was kind of a shock when I saw you for the first time.
Oh, yeah, I'm exactly 6 feet, and I'm 30 pounds overweight, and yeah, that's me.
Well, we know why. Some of those the lunches that you've been posting, I don't know. They look great, but I don't know what they do for your waistline, to be honest.
Yeah, are you
Speaking
guys
about
In-N-Out
that,
Burger fans?
Well, when in Rome, for sure, you got to do the In-N-Out burger. So I'm glad you did that. What did you think of my little homage to you? We went out for breakfast, the Godfather and
that's what I
I,
was gonna.
And I took a nice picture of my ham and eggs, ham off the bone with crispy hash browns made from scratch. And you didn't even comment on it. I'm kind of disappointed by that. It was a homage to you.
It was about 2 days ago you did that, right?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
You know what? I apologize. I don't. Who knows what kind of mood I was in? I have no idea what happened.
Well, George, I got to say, I find you very entertaining, my man. I know you take a lot of heat on Twitter, but I'm a fan, have been since the beginning, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing because I know all of us have fun watching your every move. And honestly, man, you're entertaining, and you tell it how it is, and that's hard to find on the internet these days.
You know what? Thank you. And the whole thing kind of happened by accident. I started bleeding on my notebook last October, and I started taking a video of it. And when I first started taking videos, I didn't know what room in my house I should make videos. So I'd be in an old bedroom with old furniture, and I'd be in a washroom, and like people are like, "Where's this guy in a Motel 6?" And
Yeah.
I was naturally kind of weird. I just couldn't do the simple things of where to take a video. So the whole thing the videos really worked. People can really relate to it. And now in the summer, I mean, I make food videos and I make the boards with the snake video, looking for a snake. And people are like, well, we never expected this. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It is. And you know what?
Diverse content.
Right.
And your buddies over at Circus Sports love it. I know Jeffrey Benson is a huge fan, and I know they love throwing some things in there to make it even more exciting. So yeah, I gotta say, as a content creator myself, just keep going, man, because you have no idea where this is going to lead to, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be somewhere special.
Yeah. You know what? Because this whole industry is exploding, and I could just be a guest on one of these sports gambling shows. Hey, GRP, what's his pick? A little 2-minute segment. But I'll admit, I'm not like, hey, you want to co-host the show for 2 hours? Because I'm more of an NFL guy. I'm not the kind of guy that can talk about everything. I'm just more of a niche guy. And I'd be a
Okay.
perfect guy for like a 5-minute segment on a sports gambling show rather than being a host of a show.
Well, you know what? The Godfather and I have some work to do this season. We're in the Circa Millions contest, and we're going to be filming our weekly selections. So we have to come to a consensus in 10 minutes. Tabitha's already agreed to come on and give us a hand when we're struggling. So maybe we can lean on you as well at some point during the
Why does
season.
she
What do you
look
say?
so surprised? Ask people. Don't spring it on people.
I'm trying to steal her thunder. She's the hottest thing on social media right now. Come and support the podcast.
Yes.
You didn't do the Survivor?
I didn't do the Survivor. No, I have a couple pools that I'm involved with here in Toronto, and I just felt like the Godfather and I have our plate full with all the betting that we do and shit. We don't need that. It's stressful as enough this football season. You're going to get to see it front line and center with the Godfather here.
Yeah. No, again, this is my first time. Well, it doesn't matter. I did it 30 years ago with my friends, but this is my first time in Survivor. And this Survivor thing is just blown up. I'm getting these tweets now of people come join my Survivor pool. I literally in the last 3 days, I got like 3 of them. So these people are starting their own little Survivor things, and who knows who's going to steal the money? Who knows what's going to happen? But this Survivor's become big. It's just the beginning of it too.
I know you're going to make it very entertaining with all your picks and stuff. So I truly cannot wait.
Yeah.
Okay, George, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I just want to say thank you for popping in here. The look on Tabitha's face when you showed up is exactly what I was going for, and the Godfather as well, throwing up the arms and everything. So we'll let you go, my man, and yeah, great luck this upcoming football season. Thank you for doing this, and we'll chat soon.
Maybe in about 2 hours. I'm sorry, 2 months. We'll see how our season's going, and you know what? We'll touch base then.
Yeah.
Sounds good, my man. I appreciate you.
Tabitha, good seeing you again.
See you, George.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
There we go. What do you guys think of that?
What's the matter with you?
I couldn't help myself. When Tabitha agreed to come on and shock you, I said, well, wait a second here. There is one more ace up the sleeve that I could potentially pull off, and I talked to George this morning. I said, dude, you guys are having a hilarious back and forth right now. What do you think of coming on and shocking both of them? He's like, oh, Pisky, I'm in for sure.
But you take these. Sorry, Tabitha. Go ahead.
I said I didn't see that coming at all.
No, like you take these unnecessary risks.
Yeah.
Because we're very fortunate that Tabitha here is a very classy lady, and she had nothing bad to say about someone that she could have gone off on. Okay, you take these unnecessary risks. Thank God I didn't say anything. Okay, so let me tell you, and then you bring the guy on. What's the matter with you?
I was actually sweating there. Tabitha, you did a great job. Like I was so hot under the car. I'm like, this could go really bad because I could
This
see
could
him.
go really bad.
He was sitting backstage like you just were, right? So he's watching the whole thing, and I see him smiling, and I'm like, okay, 1 compliment, 2 compliments, 3. I'm like, oh my god, this is so perfect.
I don't know if the are gonna make it easier for me.
No, okay.
No. I probably just dug your ditch a little bit deeper there. I apologize, but it's all in good fun, and I know you're all about having a good time with this stuff. So I appreciate you being a good sport and saying nice things about George. Which, you know what? Nothing that you said was wrong, and I completely agree on all accounts. This guy takes a ton of heat because he is very outspoken, and some of the things that he says are very untraditional and sometimes downright wrong in my opinion. But I don't know, inappropriate too. Yeah, the Godfather lost his shit in Vegas because of that whole calculation tweet.
You don't have to bring it up. You don't have to bring it up.
You're the father. You're the father of Bet Bet. A lot of people called you the papa of the group again, El Grupo.
Yes, I don't have a problem with that, as you know, and I was just sticking up for Tabitha, and as I want to do when anybody close to me gets into a little heat. So it wasn't appropriate. We all know that. Okay, he means well, but since Tabitha has been very gracious in the way she's handled it, that I'm handling it easy peasy too.
No, after the fact, yeah. In the moment, she saw how you were reacting in the moment. Okay, so one thing I've picked up here.
Say the word, Tabitha.
One thing I've picked up on here, I don't know if it's something with the audio or whatever, but it seems as though like the program that we're using mutes you if someone overtalks Tabitha. So we got to be very. If she's about to open her mouth, both you and I, Godfather, we got to shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Right? Because I've noticed that's been happening. So, and we wanted her to get as many words in as possible because we talk too much, you and I. Okay, we're gonna go back. Speed networking's out of the way. GRP has a recommendation. I don't know if I agree with it, but we'll see. Like Tabitha said, we'll leave that to Spanky. 1 o'clock seminar. So the first seminar, Bet Bash had a lot of seminars that you could select on your own. There was a big list of them. There were podcasts. There were different learning opportunities. The first one I chose because I really need to learn more about the program because I'm an active user is Spank Odds. Now, Godfather, why don't you begin with what you thought of the Spank Odds seminar?
Oh, I didn't make it to the Spank Odds seminar.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, well, what were you doing?
I was hurting from that night number 1. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
You at the pool?
Who's at the pool?
Tabitha was. No, not me. I was crashed in the room. I was hurting. I got there maybe halfway through the seminar, and it was like, forget it.
Well, you got off the hook there because, well, I am the one that uses it more often than you do. And basically what it was, there was a ton of book recommendations, which I wasn't really expecting. I was expecting to get all technical with the different things of Spank Odds, but the way the presenter, I believe it was Richard Diamond, who was a really good presenter, by the way, very knowledgeable dude. He used to work for Billy Walters back in the day. He set it up by giving like 6 different book recommendations. I meant to write them down and give them to you guys, but I will put out a tweet about them so you can just go on my feed and find them.
Please do.
And then it led into, some of the new things that are available on Spank Odds, the new options available.
New functionality?
New functionalities, yes. But in the middle of that, I was holding the bathroom break for way too long, so I missed a lot of it too. But again, there were a lot of book recommendations, which are very valuable that I will share with everyone. 1 p.m. seminar. Which one did you take, Tabitha, or were you at the pool? Is that what you just said, or was that Godfather at the pool?
I was trying to make a joke about God
Oh,
being at the pool. Um, but went to, I think the first one was Circles Off.
okay. How was that?
Good. Yeah, just a live podcast. You know,
How was their turnout?
a little more favorable than yours.
We'll get to that in a sec. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The 3 p.m. seminar was the Chicken Dinner podcast with friend of ours, Sammy P,
Yeah.
and the legendary Roxy Roxborough.
That was
I gotta, yeah, Godfather, you made it to that one. Okay, 3 o'clock in the
Yes,
afternoon, you
absolutely.
made it. And I just heard your phone go off, so we
Sorry,
put a
but
little do not disturb there. Yeah, okay. Here's a picture from us at the Chicken Dinner podcast. Godfather, what did you think of it?
that was one of my favorite events that I made it to. The Toronto connection with Roxy Roxborough was something I was looking forward to, and it was a pleasure and an honor to meet him in person. So that was one of the highlights of Bet Bash for me, was that particular. Um, I
Tell us that
guess.
quick Roxy Roxborough story from back in the day on St. Clair.
Well, yeah. I mean, because this was pre computer, pre internet. So we needed to have some established rules, and the established line on a Friday, because there were no Thursday games back then. Friday, Toronto Sun, Roxy line. That's the line you're buying. Don't come and say, "Oh, I got 5.5." No, Roxy line on Friday. I'd snip it out. I'd have it in my pocket. I pull it out. It was 6. You got that, Giuseppe?
Good
So
stuff.
it was a pleasure to meet him. Absolutely. And I must say, for such a pioneer in the industry, he is such an affable gentleman. He is approachable. He will speak to you. He will not look down on you. Um, he's a real gem, and he's the type of people that make going to Bet Bash very, very worth it.
I couldn't agree more, Godfather. Remember, I came up to you at one point and I said, "Don't you find it like really crazy that Roxy Roxborough knows who the hell we are?" Because
Yes,
he was
multiple times.
yeah, he was leaving the Legacy Club on the last night. We're all
Yeah.
dressed to the nines, and he made a point to come over with his wife to shake our hands and wish us luck in the upcoming season, and tell us to keep pursuing everything that we're doing. And like he didn't have to do that, and
No.
just the fact that he knows our name like completely boggles my mind.
Yeah, it was.
Any other seminars? What other seminars did you go to, Tabitha?
I made it. I did the sports betting 101. Just wanted to see the turnout to it, to see like how many people in the audience really didn't know much. When they say 101, they were not kidding.
R-
So off with what is a money line?
That's 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 wild. That was with I forget his name. Um,
Adam. I don't know his last name.
okay, yeah, Adam. He sat with us during the Hall of Fame dinner ceremony, and that's what he said. Spanky told him to do. He's like, "How beginner do you want me to go?" And he goes, "Start the seminar with what is a money line." That's wild.
I think
That is
that's
well.
Bet Bash, like as a whole. There were so many people in that seminar taking notes, um, like calculating. They were screenshots of his slides, taking notes on it. So I think that speaks a lot to like what Bet Bash has become. You have so many sharps in the room, but now we have people
Yeah.
spending $1,000 on a ticket to, if you don't know how to calculate big. But it is cool. It's cool that now there's this huge network of people want to be pros, the pros. It's cool that everyone can get in the same room.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, and another thing is apparently there were a lot of regulators in that room. So people that, and that's been the Godfather and I's beef since we, started yapping about this and really getting involved here in the Ontario market, is that nobody really understands, especially from our point of view, right? People on the opposite side of the counter, nobody understands anything. So to get the regulators in the room to at least understand the type of bets that are available and shit like that's huge. That's huge, and that's going to do monumental things for the industry going forward.
And I think we can't do this podcast without talking just really, really quick about what was the biggest topic outside of GRP at Bet Bash was the DraftKings surcharge tax. And what little tidbit did we just get yesterday? And it was like, honestly, I kind of felt like I went to a sports betting convention in Las Vegas. This was the hot topic, and 2 days later, DraftKings basically made it look like, well, we're listening to our play. No, they did not. They felt the heat that was coming, and they bailed. So that was wonderful.
Yes, I totally agree. That was great news to see today on Twitter. The last seminar I went to on that day was account longevity. So that, if you've been following the podcast, you know that that's something that we would scream about on a weekly basis through the football season. That was taught by Elihu, or I guess presented by Elihu Futsal. Great guy, smart, knowledgeable. If any of you are dinosaurs like myself, he used to be Justin Seven at Sportsbook Review way back in the day. I used to watch all his videos about all the different sportsbooks out there. And that one was very informative, but for someone like myself, 20 plus years in the industry, there wasn't a whole lot of information I didn't know. I was hoping that I could learn a little bit here and there. There wasn't too many opportunities for that. But if you're new in the industry, I'm talking 1, 2, 3 years, that is definitely a seminar that you should have been at, because the tricks of the trade of learning what to do, what not to do. And there was one learning opportunity that I asked about, and I wasn't 100% sure, and I kind of learned something there, which was the mobile data when you're betting at these places. So I was under the assumption that if you don't connect to the Wi-Fi, it won't be able to take your exact location, but that apparently is incorrect. Apparently, even on mobile data, they can get your location within like 3 meters. So basically what that says is that if I get kicked out of DraftKings and I get my girlfriend to sign up for me, they can totally see that it's coming from the exact same house, right? Other than the address. But if you're in the same location, they can probably detect that. And that was new to me. I thought that you were in the clear if you were on mobile data. So that was something that I learned there. Okay. And obviously, to wrap that day up, that's Wednesday, another open bar, 7 to 10 at the Overhang Bar. We talked about it. Tabitha, George, both worlds collide. And up to the Legacy Club for after-hour drinks. So it really doesn't stop at Bet Bash. Can we agree on that?
Never.
Yes.
Okay, so that takes us into Thursday. Thursday, slow start. I did not get to the seminar at 11 a.m. What about, and neither did the Godfather. He was missing seminars left, right, and center. What about you, Tabitha? Did you make it to the 11 a.m.er?
Not.
No. Okay, so that was tough. Again, very difficult when you're staying up and getting together with everyone. Overhang bar is when it starts, 7 to 10. Then you're up at the Legacy Club. Then everyone's down at the tables, drinking, gambling. Not so much myself. I do not consider myself a gambler in the slightest, but I love watching it. I love standing in the back and cheering people on. I'm really good at that. What about you, Godfather? Are you shooting? You playing craps in the middle of the night at Circa?
No chance. I'm too old. I'm too old for that kind of stuff. But I will agree that it was a lot of fun watching the Bet Stamp boys and their crew there. They definitely have that stuff down to an art. They were going hard, and I enjoyed watching them play for sure.
It was awesome. And none of this, I'm too old for that. You were standing out there till 3:30 in the morning with everyone else.
I mean, sure, but you know what I mean.
Okay.
It's not my thing. Let's just say that.
Thursday, okay, this is what Thursday we had our podcast. We did a live podcast in Vegas. It was tricky. And what I'll say about this, because it's still in the works, I'm not sure, honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it. And here's the reason why. It's not because, okay, so the way it was put together, it looked like we had a sold out crowd. Like, honestly, when I was in Greece, I was sitting down with Proline John, and he's like, dude, you're not going to believe this, but
We did.
your seminar is completely sold out. So I do the roadmaps. I make the prep for the podcast. So I had prepped to do a big, like, live interaction, right? The Godfather and I would just scream at each other for 15 minutes, and then we'd feed off the live crowd. Well, the issue was it was kind of late in the conference itself, and other conferences or other seminars got opened up, so other people were allowed to join other seminars. So if it wasn't for our friend here from STX, Tabitha, and a few others, I'm going to give a shout out to Patrick from Miami. We would have been in some really big trouble there. But the reason why I'm still unsure if I'm going to post it is because I feel like I gave away a lot in that session, which kind of became a one-on-one conversation with the people in attendance. And they asked me a lot of questions around betting syndicates and some of the things, the tricks of the trade that we did. And I was, I guess, okay with giving a lot away because it was such a small room. But I really got to go back and review the tape, and I might just put a seal on it and just say, you know what? If you were in attendance, you got some good information there, and the Godfather and I will sit down and do an episode and kind of go over what we're doing for the next season of this podcast. That's kind of what the meat of it was. But yeah, so I'm still undecided there. I'm waiting on Zach from Circles Off, the producer that put it all together for us. I'm waiting for him to send me the file. But I'm on the fence of not publishing it. What do you guys think of that?
Send me the file. I got to show my kids. They
don't believe
the
it?
entire neighborhood wants to see this sold out podcast. What a terrible day. That, you know what? That whole sold out thing made me nervous a week before I even got on the plane. And then to see 8 people in the room where you and I had allotted 20 minutes of time for interactions, that really hurt. But again, it
was difficult, man. But
this is the Tabitha show as well now. Thank you, Tabitha. You sat there like a trooper, and you just didn't want to hurt our feelings and make it only 7 people at the podcast. So I greatly appreciate it.
Very welcome. It was so cold in that room. I thought about leaving.
I was sweating. You were cold. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was tough, but again, water under the bridge, and these kind of things, you know, sometimes you're thrown curveballs, and you just got to deal with them in life and in podcasting and sports betting and everything. So it's just to chalk it up to something like that, you know, expect the unexpected, just like this podcast, right, Tabitha?
Right.
Yeah, you got to stop that. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's one thing to your penchant for getting a reaction out of me. Okay, that's okay. I somewhere
she knows what we're like.
Somewhere I signed up for this shit.
Why do you think she keeps agreeing to come back on? She knows. We really got to fix this mic thing for next time. Like, it's so delicate. As soon as we speak, it cuts you off. And I don't know if that's with the earbuds or something, but
yeah, maybe
we'll get it right for next time. We just got to be very delicate here. Okay, so that takes us into the 3 p.m. Seminar that I went to was the ABV, the America's Bettor's Voice.
Yeah.
Now, something really unique happened at this seminar, and I'm going to send you all to Circles Off because I know they're going to do a big segment on it, of digging into what exactly happened and what exactly was said. We've already kept you here for an hour plus, so I don't want to dig into it. But again, here on the Always Betting podcast, we send you to other podcasts to expand your knowledge. Go check out Circles Off. They will do a segment on it. But the Godfather and I were there, and we'll just say this, that we were scared to get out of our seats because we're like, we better go nap before the next event, which was a 4 to 8 open bar, open food, watch party in the sports book and the stadium swim. And the Godfather and I were like scared shitless to stand up. So again, go listen to Circles Off. They'll dig into what happened there. Tabitha, over to you. 4 to 8, we had a stadium swim watch party. The Godfather and I started in the sports book. We came out and saw you at the pool. Tell us about the pool party. What was it like at stadium swim?
It actually was super good. Got to hang out with the guys from Bet Stamp and the Hammer. Can't get away from the Canadians, I guess. Catch up with a few old coworkers that I worked out with Play Up. And I got to run into Taylor. So that was our first time meeting. Got some good pictures. It was great.
Right. So Taylor, what's Taylor's last name again?
Mathis.
Mathis. Okay. So why don't we just cruise into one of the last seminars on? No, I guess it was the next day at the expert panels. So I really wanted to talk about this because we haven't had too many females on the Always Betting podcast. I think it's only been Tabitha, and she keeps coming back and supporting us. So God bless her. But yeah, so Taylor Mathis. So Taylor, to my understanding, I don't follow her, but she's one of these social media people that gives out picks. And I have a bit of a problem with that because I am a social media person. You guys see me posting on TikTok all the time. And the one thing I don't do is give out picks because first of all, it's not that easy. Okay. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it and everyone would be rich and we'd all have our own islands and we'd all be cruising the Mediterranean on yachts. Without a doubt, if pick selling and pick giving was that easy and winning was that easy, it's not that easy. So I have a little bit of a problem there. And BetBash had a panel called Women in Sports Betting. Now, in my opinion, I may be biased, but I think the person that is sitting with us right now deserved to be on that panel. She's been in the industry a long time. She's worked in different positions, and she's been there since BetBash, since the original BetBash. So I think there should have been a seat at the table for her. But I'm going to take it a step further, and I think that they had the wrong women in sports betting on the panel. Now, no disrespect. I'm not here to shit on anyone. I'm not here to say that they're handicappers, if they want to call themselves that or whatever, that they're no good or whatever. But no, I really don't think that they should have been up there. And here's my list. I'm going to present it, and Tabitha, you can tell me what you think about this list of women in sports betting that I think should have been up there giving the expert panel speeches. Paris Smith, the former CEO of Pinnacle. Marissa Lancaster. Now, you two might not know that name, but that is an unbelievable book that you can either do the audiobook thing or read about it. Especially, she used to work for BetCris. She was one of the original workers at BetCris. Her story is absolutely crazy. How she went down to the Dominican Republic, super sketchy, arrest warrants, all this crazy ass shit, especially with Ron Sacco, who is the godfather of offshore sports betting. He is the offshore bookmaker. He started BetCris, especially with him getting inducted into the Sports Gambling Hall of Fame. And nice. Jimmy Everts was one of the founding members of Pinnacle Sports as well. So that's how I think Paris... I almost said Paris Hilton, so that could have got me in a lot of trouble. Paris Smith should have been included. Marissa Lancaster, I know she's tight with Spanky. I'm not sure why she wasn't included there. And then, why don't we have Tabitha on there, who's been there since the very beginning? And there was another very intelligent female there that is in movies, that knows a hell of a lot more about gambling than I do. Shout out to RX Gamble. Right? Gina Fiore, I believe. I don't want to butcher that, but I believe, yeah, Gina. I've never met Gina in person. We had the opportunity in Saginaw's Godfather when she met up with Plus EV. I should have jumped up and shook her hand there. I missed it. I delayed it, and when you delay things, sometimes the opportunity doesn't come up again.
What's the matter with you?
So that's another one. And we had someone that was inducted on behalf of her father, or No, her father was
No.
inducted on behalf of her last year at Bet Bash. Stephanie Rosenthal, Lefty Rosenthal's daughter. So maybe her, that she could have been up there and told us some stories about her father or stuff like that. Okay, so that's my list. That's who I think should have been up there. Tabitha, do you agree with me, yes or no?
I am very honored that you would put me on a panel with these ladies. I think I years behind them. Um, but I, in a way, disagree with that it shouldn't have been the girls that were up there. I think there is a spot for everyone, maybe just not one women's panel. Um, but if we were going to only have one women's panel, I would have loved to have heard some other people in the industry. Like we said, Paris Smith, like obviously I would die if she mentored me in this space. Just the story she could tell, the level that she's at is so much higher. I think Patty was great up there because she
Yeah.
wrote at the Stardust. Like, not many people can say that, especially in that time. I think her experience was so incredible. Like, no woman got to experience that back then. Um,
Totally agree. Totally agree.
are a lot more women in this space that we just don't know about. Sport Trade, Prime has some amazing women. Circa, Logan at Circa, she's, climbing the ladder, doing the thing. I think there's a lot of women in the operator side that don't really show face. And that was me for a really long time until like a month ago, I started tweeting. Not sure how that's going, but we will
It's
see
going
where
very well. Don't worry about
well,
it.
if it's really where I want to be. I love being behind the scenes, like running the book. We'll just see where it goes, but I think there is a lot of women that we can highlight. And I think there is a place for these like content creators, women content creators in this space. I think we toy a line if you're putting out pics. Maybe if they're free, yeah, it's okay, but everyone has their opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're
Awesome
right.
answer as per usual.
Yeah, no, phenomenal. You're right. They are free picks and stuff like that. I just feel like there should be a little bit of a disclaimer there saying these are, for recreational purposes only. And that is the first thing that the Godfather and I, when we get in front of the mics to do our Circa Millions picks for this year and we broadcast it, that is going to be like headline and center. I'm going to find a bold font to put over recreational purposes only, entertainment purposes only. If you want to copy them, I mean, that's on you, but I am not saying here that I am I'm a football handicapper. I am not a handicapper. I am not an originator. I am not, what else do they call themselves? I don't know. I don't build models, shit like that. No. There's a lot of different ways that you can earn in the sports betting industry. It doesn't just have to be this bottom up type of handicapping stuff. It is a very difficult job to do. And I think the people that actually do it should get all the recognition because it is extraordinarily difficult. And it's not just sitting down and looking through a few stats here and there and say, okay, I'm putting some picks out. It is so much more difficult than that. So that's why I have a little bit of a problem. But again, I'm not one to shit on anybody. I think the women getting up there in front of a bunch of sharps took a lot of balls, and I mean that in a nice. Yeah, I kind of put my foot in my mouth there, but I mean it like it took a lot of
It took
guts.
courage.
It took courage. Yes, fuck. To get up there in front of people that really know what they're doing and to talk. And shout out to I believe it's Alexandra White. She was the other panelist.
Yes.
That's Kenny White's daughter.
Yeah,
the Godfather
Kenny
and I
White.
worked with Kenny White at the Lottery Corporation in Ontario for what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years probably, Kenny?
Well, maybe for you, but I worked with him before. So it was over a decade for the both of us with Kenny.
Yeah.
So
So
to see
it's
him
crazy to
there
see
and then
third
to see
generation. Yeah.
To see his daughter up there, I was cool with that.
But yeah, I like it. I love how they switched it up though, because again, like we got to try to expand this thing and include everyone. Everyone's included here. Bet Bash has a ton of great people from both sexes, on both sides of the table, on both sides of the counter. So it's great to include everyone and give women a little bit of a spotlight to to share what they're experiencing in the industry. I thought that was really amazing, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that takes us. We're almost done here, guys. I know we don't like keeping you there. And by the way, the next season of Always Betting is going to be much shorter, but there's just a lot of content to get through here. So we're almost at the end. The last day we had the induction ceremony, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Godfather, it was your first Bet Bash. Let's give the mic to you. What did you think of the ceremony and the dinner?
Honestly, I thought that was rightfully the showpiece of the event. I really liked. I just had that comment in the back of my head from you from last year's Bet Bash that there was only like 5 people in tuxes, and I would say that
It was more than
over.
that, but I don't.
Well,
There
okay,
definitely
well,
wasn't. There definitely wasn't
well,
as
over
many as there
half
were
of
this year. Yeah.
over half of the people were dressed to the nines, Tabitha included, and it wasn't it gave a very glamorous feel to some. There were times during that ceremony I thought I was at like the Oscars or something. It really had that feel. And for Spanky to be respectful and his crew to come up and do a in memorandum section, I was really touched by that. I thought that was A plus stuff. So for me, my first Bet Bash, yes, I had to come and see what all the frickin' positivo noise was about. Absolutely. And for me, that even though yes, and I will stand behind anybody that says, "Hey, it's long-winded, it's long, it's." But you know what? Respect is something you give and something you earn. And if you understand anything about respect, shut up, have a drink, listen to the people, be respectful, and it's gonna and the night went on, and I mean, like, the food was good. It was a very good meal. And obviously it's going to
Let
be
everyone know what we
difficult.
had.
Well, we had a very nice shrimp cocktail to start. Then we had salad. We had the beef Wellington with a roasted chicken with mashed potatoes and green beans. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to dinner, was I? And so yeah, it was great. And then we had a phenomenal mousse ice cream cake or something going
The
on
dessert
there.
was
And
incredible.
and
Incredible.
and then someone at the table, I don't know who, but someone at the table asked for coffees for the table, so it really was nice. So for me, it was fantastic. That was the highlight of the 4 day session. So I mean, the education is great, yes. Networking is great, yes. Drinking is great, but that night it was a very classy affair, and for me, that was the highlight.
So
Yeah.
I
Well, there you
just
go.
I don't have the picture of all of us. I totally dropped the ball there. But here is the picture. One that really is incredible. Godfather, the king of Twitter, Jeffrey Benson,
Yeah.
director of operations at Circa, and yours truly. But yeah, Tabitha, I'm sorry. I totally dropped the ball. I got another picture of us here, actually. Hey, look at these! Look at these clowns! Are you kidding me? Oh,
You
unbelievable!
you and
Unbelievable.
these pictures can't get away from you.
We also we skipped over another dinner. So Godfather gave us the ceremonial Hall of Fame dinner. We also did another team dinner, which was held over at
Oh
Vic and
yes, of
Anthony's in the Golden
course.
Nugget. Yes, myself, the Godfather, Tabitha, Sammy P, Proline John, a lot of firepower, and our buddy the Goofy
Goofy
Noofy.
Noofy. Yeah.
Tabitha, you seem to be eating at all the fanciest places in downtown Las Vegas during this trip. So you got to give us a breakdown. I know you went to Barry's in Circa, and I know you came with us to Vic and Anthony's in the Golden Nugget. what did you think between the two? And if you had to pick a favorite, which one would you go with?
So Vic and Anthony's is probably my favorite downtown. I'll probably get so much heat for that because most people don't like it. They say it's overrated, but I think it's much better than Barry's. Sorry, Derek. Don't come after me. But yeah, I think Vic and Anthony's takes the cake there.
Sweet. All right. Well, then, our last guest that we had on here, where he's going to be asking you to have dinner next year at Bet Bash 5.
Oh my God! Don't encourage this stuff.
Nah, he's just playing games. He's fine. He's harmless. Okay, so I think that's it. We concluded Bet Bash by going up to, again, an open bar at the Legacy Club, 60th floor, overlooking Las Vegas. I was so out of gas at that point. I nearly passed out outside. Both of you saw me come in from outside going, Pisky, are you okay, man? Like,
Yeah,
what's
I
going
was.
on? It was 45 degrees. You got a tuxedo on. Yeah. Shout out to whoever bought me a water there because that was well, I guess it was an open bar. But anyway, someone ordered me a water that saved my life. Thank you to that person. And yeah, we drank the night away. Again, it was another 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Tabitha, I think you went directly to the airport, did you not?
Yeah, I met Amber at the book that morning and then hopped on a flight and went home. I didn't sleep till like 5 p.m. my time. So,
Oh my
I
God.
just want to take this opportunity, Tabitha, because at the end of the night, after we met the Italians, and they asked me if you were my wife, and then you were talking to them for 2 hours. I had to look at them, and I'm like, ragazzi.
Respect to the Godfather.
Well,
Respect.
you know what? You don't know how the Italians operate. So that was basically them getting clearance
Oh,
to speak to Tabitha. And I was okay because I was keeping an eye on things. But we got separated at one point, and I didn't get a chance to formally say goodbye and say thank you for a great 4 days together. So I'll do it here on the podcast.
oh, I had such a good time. It was so good. It feels like we've been best friends for life. So, it's always good to have people on your side.
Absolutely.
yeah, and I have to voice that as well, Tabitha. You were a great dynamic to have. You kept us all in line. Proline John said the same thing. I had a conversation with him this afternoon and said, I never got to say goodbye to Tabitha. Like, is she okay? Did she make it home all right? So we were all looking out for you.
Yeah.
And honestly, you provide the perfect dynamic because there are a lot of dudes at Bet Bash. So it was nice to have the female presence there. And honestly, you're one of the guys. You fit in. You're part of the familia. So thank you for hanging out with us for the 5 days. And thank you for coming on here and doing this again. You will be a regular member of the Always Better. You remember us. You remember us, guys. She is blowing up on social media right now.
When you get up to the top,
You remember where you started. Yeah, you remember us, Stroneses, and you come on and say hi when you're all famous and shit. A question for both of you, just to wrap all of this up. Guys, thanks for sticking with us. I know we try to keep these episodes shorter, but again, there's way too much to go through here. We talk too much. Godfather, will you be at Bet Bash 5?
I'm going to say I'm hopeful that I can be there. And I got a little tidbit that it might be moved back. So might start August 12th or something, which for me personally is perfect because my daughter's birthday's on the 9th. And, because I need to supervise these events. Let's just be honest.
She's getting older. Yeah, I know. The nails.
Okay.
You got to watch this.
So I'll say I hope we have a successful season in our endeavors, so we can pay for that stuff. So yeah, I would like to come back without question.
Tabitha, will we see you at Bet Bash 5?
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right, everyone. Tabitha, thanks again for joining us. Godfather. And Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks. Tabitha, stick around. We'll do a proper goodbye after this outro thing here. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.